My name is July, and today we are going to talk about body image. Body image can be a difficult thing to talk about, but that is why we're doing this today. To reduce the stigma and recognize that you're not alone. Everyone's story is unique, and I hope that through these interviews, people can find comfort and recognize that we are all human and have our struggles. With all that, let's begin with my friend. So I want to first start off by taking the time out of your day to be here. And I want to start off with the first question is, why do you think body image is an important thing to talk about?
I feel like body image is important to talk about because if you don't talk about it, you're not going to get rid of the stigma of like, oh, someone's overweight, oh, someone's dealing with insecurities. You need to talk about it and get it off your chest. Like, let your friends or people know, or anonymously, just let someone know. And I feel like it'll make it a little easier for you like to talk about it in the future.
Mm-hmm. Does talking about body image like help you get it off your chest or be less insecure?
Yes, it does, because by you addressing, I think, your insecurity or something that's bothering you, when you say out loud, it's actually not as big of an issue as you thought it was.
Yeah.
And it helps you feel better about it going into like the next day or like what you're going to go to an event or something.
Mm-hmm. And so what made you come here today to specifically talk about it in a recording?
I've faced like issues with body image and feeling like you're not enough because of your appearance. So by talking about it today, I really want other people to feel like they're not alone and that body image doesn't define you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you remember the first time you felt insecure about your appearance? And can you tell me what that was like for you?
Yeah, the first time I felt insecure about my appearance was as young as elementary school or middle school, because I've always been more overweight than like most people in my class. And I think it was towards middle school, like when you see the girls wearing the crop tops and the jeans. And I was like, wait, I got to the store. I'm like, okay, let me try on the crop top and jeans. And the jeans look okay. But then the crop top's like, wait, why is it fitting wrong in all the places that it should be fitting right? And I think that's when I felt insecure, feeling like I couldn't like look like everyone else.
What exactly causes you or other people to be insecure about their appearance?
I think like it's environmental, like the group you're with.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I'm with a group of people who have a body similar to mine, I'm not going to feel insecure because we all look the same. But if you're in an environment with a lot of people who don't look like you, which obviously people each have their own individual identity, no one looks alike.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, I think, where you start to get insecure. Like for me, that was middle school, I think, again in my class when I was slightly larger than most people. That's when I started to feel insecure, when it's like, wait, everyone in the classroom is so much more thinner than I am. Like, why can't I be that thin?
Yeah. And your body type was just like a certain way different than everyone else's. And did you ever compare yourself to other people?
I did. I always wanted to be, I think, like the other people. Even now, there's still days where I feel like that. And I think journaling is what helps me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it off myself, being like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. How can I stop feeling like that? Or like feel like I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the comparison trap is like really huge, especially with Instagram and social media.
Yeah.
Like seeing not the perfect life necessarily, but like the perfect body. Like someone modeling in their bikini on Instagram or something, or someone showing off like, oh, it's a beach day and I have my beach body and my green smoothie, and it's like, wait, why don't I look like that?
Yeah, I mean, social media can definitely promote unrealistic standards.
Yeah,
or like promote a standard of what health should look like. Like you're only healthy if you have this specific body type,
mm-hmm.
and it doesn't leave room to consider like every body looks different, and maybe if you don't necessarily. And you may not look like that other person, but that doesn't mean you're unhealthy. You and that other person just have different body types, and that's okay.
Exactly.
And leading on to my next question, and as you've gotten older, how has your self-worth compared to your past self? Are you more or less confident? Do you think you're more confident than as you were in the past? Tell me about that.
I feel like I am more confident because I've just learned, I think, throughout the years that the only opinion of you that matters is your own opinion of mm-hmm. yourself. And people are going to think whatever they want to think, and you just can't control what people think. Like, I've heard the saying where it's none of your business what other people think about you, which I think is true, because people are going to have their own opinions, mm-hmm. and you can't control that. And I feel like I do feel more confident because I know that, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person who's overweight. I'm not the only person, who experiences hormonal issues or something. Yeah. And as a girl, I feel like beauty standards are so high. Like, if a man is overweight, why aren't they being, like, looked down at or something? Yeah. Why is it only women, like, oh, look at, how overweight she is and look at what she's wearing or something? But mm-hmm. I feel like I'm more confident, but I want to also say I'm more conscious, like, as far as, like, what you wear and stuff. Like, you want to wear something that feels flattering on you. Yeah. And not, like, try to wear what everyone else is wearing, because that might not be as flattering on you.
Yeah. And it's like, kind of boils down to maybe clothes should fit you and you shouldn't fit clothes. It's a saying that my friend likes to say. And if something doesn't look flattering on you, maybe it's not because there's something wrong with you. Maybe you just need to find something that's more your style and more flattering for your body type, rather than trying to force yourself to fit into like something that just isn't working for you, you know?
Exactly.
And so I want you to go back to the first time, your elementary school self, your middle school self, and when you started feeling those insecurities. If you could tell that girl that was feeling insecure, if you could give her advice, what would you give her?
I think just to really care less about what other people think. Like, even now, there's still those days where I care so much about other people's opinions, but I would just want to tell myself, like, other people's opinions of you just don't matter.
Just like, it really doesn't, you know? I think if someone's going to go out of their way to comment on someone else's appearance, that shows more about the person than it does you. Because, like, why are you commenting on how I look like? Mind your business, you know?
Exactly. Like, I always cared about people's opinions, not even just within, like, appearance. It was within everything. Like, oh, if I do bad on a test, like, what are my friends going to think? Or, like, oh, you know, if I don't do this, what are they going to think? And I always, you know, thought, well, my friends think. But I think when I got to middle school, that more started to go away. Mm-hmm. But, of course, with middle school, too, it was, like, the popularity thing. Like, then there's the phase where you want to be popular, I feel like. But then I learned that, you know, what matters to me is just who I am on the inside. And if I'm not popular, that's fine. I love who I am, like, as a person. And if they don't, you know, too bad for them. Because a lot of people who, like you said, go out of their way to make comments about other people, they are very insecure about themselves. Yeah. And that's, like, how could we solve the root problem of people being insecure? Because by someone being insecure, it can cause them to go off on someone else. It can cause them to develop an eating disorder. It can cause so many things. Like, how can we, you know, stop insecurities or limit it?
It's like, we can't necessarily control what other people are going to say, but it's more about, like, what you said is, like, caring about your opinion of yourself. And that's the only opinion that will matter at the end of the day. Maybe someone out there who's maybe struggling the way you did, who's insecure. What are the practical steps that you took to become more confident in your skin?
Affirmations are really important. Like, I know people might not think of them as that big, but if you look at yourself today in the mirror and just really tell yourself, like, I am enough, you are enough. Telling yourself those 3 little words can change your life so much every day. I wake up in the morning, I go, I brush my teeth, I do my skincare, I do my hair, get in the shower, and I look in the mirror and, like, be like, you know, you are enough. And you showed up for yourself today by, you know, doing your skincare, brushing your teeth. You're showing up for yourself by doing the simplest things. Also, journaling is really big. I feel like that helped me grow confident. Like, dear journal, you know, today I feel good about myself. I went to the gym and, you know, I hung out with my friends and I feel good about, you know, my life, and I'm confident in who I am, and I'm glad to be the kind person that I am. But it's really about, like, what you tell yourself has such a big role. And listening, like, to podcasts and stuff, like, kind of like what we're doing today, and listening to stories and positiveness. Like, there is a female influencer that I know who does, like, workshops and stuff on confidence. And I like to go to them because it helps you grow. Hearing it from someone else and knowing you can relate to someone, it helps you grow as a person.
Some days you feel, like, extremely confident, feel like you're loving yourself, but then maybe a week later you're like, nope, I feel like absolute garbage. Like, when you feel days where you just may not feel as confident, how do you cope with those days?
That's hard because I feel like there's not many ways to cope with it. I feel like just, again, taking that deep breath, it's a lot, and just telling yourself, like, you know what, I don't feel like I'm enough today, but I know I'm enough. Like, it's almost like when you're self-sabotaging yourself, like, you know you're self-sabotaging yourself, and it's like, let me take a minute and think, why am I saying these things to myself? Because, like, if I look in the mirror and tell myself I'm fat, I'm ugly, you know, why am I saying that to myself? A friend told me before too, like, if you wouldn't tell that to another friend, why would you tell that to yourself?
Of course,
because you're also a friend. Like, if I wouldn't tell my friend, hey, you look fat, why would I tell myself I look fat?
Exactly.
You know? And so there's not many ways to cope with it, but I feel like it's more of a long-term thing on working on your mindset.
So it's like building confidence in the long term will, like, help have maybe less of those days.
I think so,
feel
because
good.
Working on your mindset is really, like, mind over body. Mental health is really important, and insecurities and all these things is really related to mental health. So I think working on your mental health in the long run, doing things that are good for you, going on walks, you know, talking to people who lift you up and don't bring you down, listening to the right content on social media, because it's so easy to fall into that comparison trap. But I think if you work on your mental health in the long run, then it will help you experience less bad days.
And so I just want to ask you, what is something that you love about yourself outside of your appearance?
I love my kind heart because I really do have a sense of, feeling for people and being there for my friends and even people I don't know. I just talk to people like I know them because, you never know what they're going through. And I think just approaching them kindly always. And I love my honesty with people because I feel like honesty is such an important trait to have. And the way I treat my friends and, like I said, again, people I don't know as well. But I also love, like, how helpful I am. And I like to do community service and volunteer. And I like to, again, that's a positive activity for my mental health by going out in the community, getting out there, volunteering. I'm spending less time worrying about my body and doing things that benefit the community.
Because, like, when you definitely have that outlet, you're not focusing too much about how you look, your appearance, and stuff like that. When you're actually going out there and making a difference of your community, your appearance kind of just becomes irrelevant.
It's like I get called therapist in my friend group sometimes too for like doing all this positive lecture talk, but I feel like it does make a difference. And when you're telling someone like, hey, guess what, you are enough, like they'll be like, oh no, I'm not. But then they'll go home and think about it and be like, wait, I am enough. I know I'm enough. And I'm also a youth mental health ambassador for an organization. So with that, that's also helped me grow more confident because by working with other peers who promote mental well-being, that helps me also work on my own as well as, promoting it within the community as well.
I love that for you. That's actually amazing. So what is something you want people to recognize you for?
I think I always want to be known as just someone who's kind and someone who cares about the people, around her. And I really care about people so much. And I hope that, I can't say you never feel insecure again because there's always going to be days where you feel insecure. You can have the most perfect body and lifestyle and you're still going to find something to be insecure about. So I think I really just want to be recognized, for who I am and hopefully someone who makes a difference in people's lives.
Yeah, I love that. And honestly, even though I don't know you that well, you seem like such a really kind and amazing person. And I thank you so much for doing the interview with me.
Thank you for having me.